Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course, you guys know the Rillaboom raid officially ended last night. But here's the deal, guys. If your Switch is still offline, if you've not gone online yet, the raid is still here, and you could still take part in it. That's the big secret to this. And the real crazy part is, so long as you keep your Switch offline, you can change the date almost indefinitely. In fact, I believe darn near indefinitely. And keep respawning the raid. My favorite strategy here, and I will continue farming this essentially up to the point I just don't have a choice anymore. I really have to go online to get the new raid or whatever. In essence, what I'm going to continue doing here, as long as my hair is all fuzzing out here, is I'm going to go in, run the raid, go back to change the date, put a day forward. The best practice here is to go a day forward, but at midnight 01. Midnight 01. Come back into the game. Now, you won't need to restart the game per se. You just go back into the game. All the raids will respawn. Go find the raid. Go to it. Then you will need to go ahead and you will need to actually click on it. Let this pop up. Get your LP. I see obtain 2,000 LP for clicking on it. Then what you would do is go back in and resync your Switch. And you could do this over and over and over and over and over again. It just, for me, is the best practice. I can just keep going in and changing it. You could take it day forward each time if you plan to do this multiple times. There's absolutely no problem with that. I mean, I guess arguably it could at some point be against TOS, but not really the point here. Essentially, you can just continue farming this until the new raid drops. Now, because we do not have a new raid officially announced yet, I want to talk about what new raids we might be getting. So as you guys know, there's a Pokemon Direct tomorrow, and I'm really excited because obviously they're going to talk about the expansions. There's really no question about that. So, I haven't popped up here beneath me, but that's not really doing us any good, is it? So, we are getting the first expansion, I'd have to double check the date, so I believe either later this month or next. So it is incoming, so obviously they are going to talk about the expansions in this. Now there's other stuff they're going to talk about. Obviously they've got the card game, they got 151 coming out. They probably have new Elite Trainer boxes coming. By the way, guys, I still have a Miraidon Elite Trainer box. We will open here shortly. I just have to settle that back up. And let me know if you guys are really enjoying the card openings. We can continue it. It's not something I can do on the super regular, but it's definitely something I would enjoy doing on the channel. So let me know if that's the kind of content you guys want to see. Comment down below and go check out the other card opening we did. Now, definitely not the biggest point here. Number one, for me, obviously is Scarlet and Violet, and I really think they're going to use this opportunity to announce the next set of raids. Now, the other thing I was kind of thinking here is, like, what would be the next raid? Because if we go through my box here, back, I don't know, right at the beginning of the game, essentially, there were a bunch of leaks from Pokemon Home, and a bunch of these mon were leaked, and so we knew essentially what starters and whatnot were actually to be part of the raids. We obviously have the Diglett variant, we had the Cyndaquil, we got Rowlet, we got Samurott, we got all these Pokemon that we kind of knew were going to be part of this. The Hisuian Quillfish, things like that. So I believe all the starters that were leaked, could be wrong on that, but I think all the starters currently have been covered. So what could be coming next for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? And that's what I want to talk about today. Because back last month, we got a little leak from data miners, and the data miners have all but said that in the file system for this game, there apparently is a raid for Mewtwo. Now, when they ran this, apparently it did not drop a Mewtwo into the game. What it did is it gave the shiny Mewtwo from Pokemon Go the mightiest mark. That is right. So, this would be interesting and this would be different. The downside is at the moment it kind of looks like you have to have the shiny Mewtwo or the shiny Mew from Pokemon Go for this to be a thing. But I personally don't think that is... I don't think that's... At least so far as we've seen in this game, I don't think they're going to do that. If they were going to drop a raid that would specifically give the mightiest mark to a Mew unit, I would think they would give us a Mew. So I think at some point in time here shortly, we might be given a gift code or something, or maybe a standalone event, maybe a standalone raid or something, that will drop a Mew. And then shortly after that, they will probably drop the Mewtwo raid event. That is actually what I think is going to be the big thing tomorrow. Because as I said, a lot of these raids have already been covered. I can't think of any other starters that I've seen, at least leaked in the game, that wouldn't be part of this. Now, I might be wrong, might be one or two off. Shortly after that, remember, then we will be getting the update for the first DLC. Now, when that DLC drops, we've already seen in the trailer that there is a bunch of other Pokemon that will be added to the game. That will bring us up to, I forget how deep we are right now, what, close to 600 Pokemon deep? I'm not even sure what the full Pokedex is. Obviously, the real downside here, and I do want to mention this, is while we go through the Pokedex here, this Pokedex only covers the 400 that were initially dropped in the game. The raid Pokemon and all that have not been added to this yet, and I would love to see those raid Pokemon added to this. I think that would be fantastic. But at the moment, they don't seem to be here. So, what does this mean? Well, number one, this has got to be updated. I'm sure the DLC, since we're going to a whole other regions, I'm sure the DLC will either add the raid Pokemon to the Dex and the new Pokemon, or maybe even add another Dex. I mean, we have plenty of space here to add region-specific Dexes, and maybe even a full national Dex. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So those are the kinds of things that I'm expecting to see in this event. Now, we'll find out tomorrow. After that drops tomorrow, I will definitely cover it tomorrow afternoon. But until then, keep your eyes peeled to this place, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to get really excited for whatever's coming. I assure you something really, really fun is in the works. So until then, like, comment, share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for that Pokemon Direct reaction.